So let us start with the new chapter locus today. It's a very simple chapter, guys. Um, as usual, we'll start with the basic definition of what is locus and how we apply this in our numerical examples. So first of all, write the definition of locus along with me, all of you. Locus it is a set of points which satisfies a given geometrical condition. Now, when you say that it is a set of points which satisfies the given geometrical condition, so what does that mean exactly? Let us understand this with an example. I have locus of points which are equidistant from endpoints of a segment. Let me consider over here the segment PQ. Obviously, the point which is equidistant from both the endpoints A and B has to be the central point or the midpoint of this segment PQ. Let me consider this is R. But it is not necessary that only the midpoint which lies on the segment PQ has to be equidistant from the points P and Q. The point which is above this, let me call it as R1, or the point which is below this, let me call it as R1 dash. Obviously, one more point above R1 which can be R2, or the point which is below R1 dash which is R2 dash. Suppose if I go on continuing like this, I will get infinitely many points which have to be definitely equidistant from the endpoints of the segment PQ. This will be equal, definitely this will also be equal. So all these points which are above R or below R, they all will be definitely equidistant from the endpoints of the segment PQ. So basically over here I can say that the required locus is the perpendicular bisector, because if you join all these points, I can observe that this is a perpendicular bisector of the given segment PQ. Hence, it is the required locus. Okay, so that is your example number 1. I'll give you guys one more example. Example number 2. Locus of all points which are at a distance of 6 centimeter from given point A. Let me assume that this is any point A, and from this point I want a distance of 6 centimeters. Let me consider this is point B. So does it mean that only one point is at a distance of 6 centimeter? Then the answer is obviously not. There have to be many different points which will be at a distance of 6 centimeter in all the directions. So suppose when I join all these points, we get a geometrical figure of a circle. So on joining all these points, when the figure looks like a circle, hence my conclusion will be saying that the required locus is a circle. So this is the basic meaning of the locus. It is nothing but the set of points which satisfies the given geometrical condition. In the first case, I consider the geometrical condition of points which are equidistant from the endpoints. In the second case, I consider the points which are equidistant or at a distance of a given centimeter or a given unit from a certain fixed point A. So that is basically the meaning of your locus. Now the next point that we need to know is something called as equation of a locus. So when you talk about equation of locus, so what is that exactly? So what is the equation of the locus? Let us write it down. A mathematical relation between variables x and y is said to be an equation of locus which will satisfy the given geometrical condition. Now, in order to understand, so what is the given geometrical condition? Let us understand this with an example. Before going to an example, let us remember one very important point, that in case if you come across x-axis and y-axis, let us say something like this, and you have any random point, let me consider over here p 5 comma 4. So in that case, the vertical distance represents the y value, which is 4. The horizontal distance represents the x value, which is 5. So this point over here has to be 5, this point over here has to be 4, and we have a special name for this called as abscissa is the x coordinate and y coordinate basically is called as the ordinate. So these are very important points that we need to remember over here, because in our example or in our question they will be giving us the relation between abscissa and ordinate sometimes. So we should be able to identify what is abscissa, what is ordinate. So in general, if I have, if we have any point, let us consider m, x comma y, I will consider over here that x over here is the abscissa and the y value over here is the ordinate. That is what we have to remember. Now let me take a simple example to understand what is equation of a locus. If I consider find equation of locus of a point such that abscissa is thrice ordinate or thrice of the ordinate. Whenever you have to find out the equation of a locus, the first thing that you have to do is, the question is asking you locus of a point. We don't know what is the point. We have to decide, we have to identify the point, only then we would be able to get the required equation. सबसे पहले I will define my variables, what they are over here. So I will consider, let required point be P x comma y. Now the equation is very easy. I just have to say, according to the given condition, it says that abscissa is thrice of ordinate. So it is very clearly understood abscissa is x is equal to 3 times of ordinate, which is y. So hence guys, this becomes our required equation of the locus. Some important formulae. Write down everybody the point number 1. The distance formula. Suppose if you have 2 points A and B having the coordinate x1, y1 and x2, y2. So guys, I will just have to say over here distance formula, that is dA comma B or AB, is given by root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square, or if you want you can also write it as under root of x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. Whichever way you write, it is completely correct. It is not at all wrong, because ultimately it will become square only. So positive होगा या negative होएगा, that won't affect at all. Let me take a very easy example for this. If you have point A has coordinates 2, 4, point B has coordinates, let us say 5, 9. So in this case, I will just have to say, therefore, distance AB is equal to, I assume that A coordinates are x1, y1 and B coordinates are x2, y2. So on substituting there in the first formula, I will get the required answer under root of x2 minus x1. So 5 minus 2 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. That is going to be over here 9 minus 4 the whole square. So guys, you get the answer like this. 5 minus 2, 3 square, I will write it as 9. 9 minus 4, that is 5, and 5 square is 25. 25 and 9 comes out to be root of 34 units. Writing the word units is very important because we are talking about distance, so you should not forget units. So the second formula that we have over here is the section formula. So now what is the section formula? When you talk about section formula, there are two cases. One is internal division and the another is external division. So what is the basic difference between the two? What is internal division and what is external division? Again, let me consider a segment AB. A obviously, as usual, has coordinates x1, y1. B has coordinates x2, y2. And I have a point P somewhere in between A and B having the coordinates x and y. So I consider, because point P is between A and B, it is representing the internal division. That is, it is dividing the segment AB internally in the ratio m is to n. This part from A to P is considered as m. This part from B to P is considered as n. Remember, B to P is considered as n. This is very important that we have to remember over here. So in this case, the point P, x comma y, by internal division formula, Px comma y is given by mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. Same thing for the y coordinate, my2 plus n into y1 divided by m plus n. What am I doing over here basically is that I'm just trying to take m with x2 and y2 values. See, m goes with x2, m goes with y2. In the same manner, I am trying to take n with x1 and y1 values. So I will see over here that n is with x1 for the x coordinate and n is with y1 for the y coordinate. So the formula is very easy. mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. Exactly same formula goes for the external division also, only there is a very small change. Let us understand what the change is over here now. Chalo. External division. Once again, I consider a segment over here, which is AB. Again, A has the same coordinates x1 and y1. B has the same coordinates x2 and y2. But this time, guys, the point P is outside AB. Because the point P is outside AB, therefore it is called as external division. But when you read the statement of the question, they will say that P divides AB externally in ratio m is to n. The first case was very easy. It was just saying that P divides AB internally in ratio m is to n. So when it was internally, so we can easily understand P has to be somewhere between A and B. But when it says externally, so it should come to our mind that P has to be outside AB. तो जब वो outside AB होगा guys, तो you have to be very careful. I told you in the beginning that this B to P, the distance BP or this part is considered as N. So again, over here also, this part will be considered as N and this entire part will be considered as M. Do not get confused in this. AP is always M, BP is always N. Formula is exactly similar to what we did in the first case. The only difference is that the middle plus sign will now be replaced with the minus sign. So if you want the formula for external division, it is like this. By external division formula, guys, it is exactly same. Px comma y is mx2 nx1 mn my2 ny1 mn प्लस था पहले, अब वो माइनस हो जाएगा. बिफोर इट वॉज प्लस, नाउ इट विल बी माइनस. दैट इज द ओनली चेंज दैट वी हैव टू रिमेंबर, or I should say difference that you have to remember between the internal division formula and the external division formula. The next formula that you have over here is number 3, which is called as the midpoint formula. It is quite similar to what we did in the above section, that is internal division formula. Again 2 points A and B. Point P over here lies exactly at the center of A and B. As usual, P is x comma y, A is x1 y1, B is x2 y2. So in that case, the midpoint formula for Px comma y is x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. Very easy. Why does it become like this? Because the simple reason that this becomes the ratio 1:1. So if you observe the above formula for section formula by internal division, this value becomes 1, as well as n value over here also becomes 1. So 1 into x1 is x1, 1 into x2 is x2. Again over here, the value of m is 1, as well as n is also 1 only. So 1 into y1 is y1, 1 into y2 is y2, divided by 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 in the first part, or in the first x value, as well as in the y value denominator. So that is the way you can remember your midpoint formula: x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So let us see the first question of our exercise 5.1. You are given over here that there are 2 points A1, 3 and B2, 1. We have to find the equation of the locus of a point such that PA is equal to PB. In this sum, he has mentioned, so in this case, we are not given the coordinates of the point P. He has just told us that the required point is point P. So we have to assume that the point P has coordinates x and y. And then based on that, we have to use our condition that PA is equal to PB. So let us see what we can do over here. Question number 1. Let required point be P x comma y. So let me draw a rough diagram so that you understand what exactly the question is trying to tell us. This is your point A, in fact point P, and A and B, they are equidistant from the point P. So whatever are the coordinates of A and B, I have to use the distance formula using the distance AP as well as distance of BP or PB, whatever you say. Because we are given that PA is equal to PB, so we will be using the distance formula to find the required equation of the locus. So I will say over here that let the required point be Px comma y. Given that A has the coordinates 1, 3, B over here has the coordinates 2, 1. Yes. So, given condition, PA is equal to PB. So I will write over here using the distance formula. दोनों साइड पे फॉर्मूला लिखना पड़ेगा अपने को गाइस. It is x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Again over here y1 the whole square. Now guys, one very important point that we have to remember over here, looking at PA and PB, I can understand P is the first variable or the first point, A is the second variable. Therefore, P values will be considered as x1, y1. A values will be considered as x2, y2 when you are working for PA. When you are working for PB, again P is the first and B is the second. Therefore, again P will be x1, y1 only, but this time x2, y2 will be your B coordinates, which is 2 and 1. So carefully do a substitution in their respective places on both the sides. This will become under root of, I should put therefore over here, x2 minus x1. As I told you that A values are x2 and y2. So 1 minus x plus y2 minus y1, 3 minus y. Again, when you are working for PB, so in this case 2 minus x and 1 minus y, the whole square. Because we want to remove the square roots, the easiest idea, as everybody knows, squaring both sides so that I can just get rid of that square roots. बार बार square roots नहीं लिखना पड़ेगा आपको. And the inside elements we have to apply squaring using a plus b the whole square or a minus b the whole square, whichever formula gets applicable in that respective position. So the first element, 1 square minus 2x plus x square plus 3 square minus 3 into 2 into y, that is 6y plus y square. On the right hand side, 4 minus 4x plus x square and 1 minus 2y plus y square. Let us cancel off the terms whichever are common on both the sides. I can get rid of x square. I can also get rid of y square. I can also cancel 1 and 1 on both the sides. Yeah, remaining terms cannot be cancelled. So let us take x and y elements together and the constants together. So if we do that, minus 2x plus 4x minus 6y plus 2y plus 9 minus 4. This 4 goes on the left, minus 4x becomes positive on the left, as well as minus 2y becomes positive on the left side. Nothing is left on the right side, so we are left with 0. So you get, finally it is 2x minus 4y plus 5, and that, guys, has to be equal to 0. Becomes your required equation of the locus. Is the required equation of the locus. In the sum number 2, he has given to you that there are again 2 points A and B. we have to find the equation of the locus of the point P. Again, in this sum also, I will assume that P is x and y. Again, he has told us it is equidistant from A and B. So obviously, when it is equidistant from A and B, I can say that PA has to be again equal to PB, or AP is equal to BP, whichever way you want to write, it is completely your choice. Similar to what we did in the previous case, I want all of you to try this particular question for the homework. In the question number 3, it is A is 20, B is 03. Are the 2 points. You have to find the equation of the locus of the point P. Once again, no coordinates are given. You will be assuming this as x and y, such that AP is twice of BP. Does not matter if it is 2 over there. We can just leave that 2 as it is whenever we are using the distance formula. And after applying the distance formula, whenever you are squaring that, you should not forget to square the element 2 as well. So it becomes 4 times of the elements inside the bracket of the BP distance formula. Let us understand question number 4. Again over here, he has given A is 4,1 and B is 5,4, such that PA square is equal to thrice of PB square. Once again, we have to use the distance formula only. The only thing is that he has given us the square directly. So when you have this kind of a question, what do we do? Let us understand. Let me consider. Let required point be P x comma y. Required point is P x comma y. We are given over here the coordinates of the point A and B. So the point A is 4,1, B is 5,4. Okay. Given condition, is PA square is thrice of PB square. This is nothing but basically again the distance formula, so I will write over here. By distance formula, we will write the formula x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Okay. So substitute the values carefully. The only thing is that it is square of these both terms and it is multiplied with 3. So the best part is the square and the square root can be removed directly over here. So it will just be x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So substitute the values over here carefully now. It will become 4 minus x the whole square plus 1 minus y the whole square. 5 minus x the whole square plus 4 minus y the whole square. So in that case, just open the brackets carefully. 4 square 16 minus 8x plus x square 1 minus 2y plus y square. This 3 need not be squared over here because square is only for the PB element. Okay, so you should not square the element 3. 25 minus 10x plus x square plus 16 minus 8y plus y square. 16 and 1, that will give me 17. Minus 8x minus 2y, let me write it properly in a proper order. And plus x square plus y square. So constant term, then the linear terms, and then the quadratic. Or if you want, you can write quadratic first, then the linear terms, and then the constant. It's not an issue with that. Let us leave this 3 over here. 25 and 16, they both will get added. So 25 and 16 will give you 41. Minus 10x minus 8y plus x square plus y square. Then left hand side no change, plus x square plus y square. Right hand side, the number 3 will get multiplied inside the bracket to each and every term. Okay, so in that case 3 into 41, that will give you 3 into 1 is 3, 4 into 3 is 12, so 123, minus 10 into 3 is 30, so 30x, 8 into 3 is 24, so minus 24y, plus 3x square plus 3y square. Now I am trying to keep the square terms positive, so that's why what I will do is I will take x square and y square on the opposite side, so they both will become subtracted. So I can get over here 3x square minus x square as 2x square, 3y square minus y square as plus 2y square. Then I have minus 30x, and suppose if this minus 8x goes on the opposite side, it becomes positive. So I can say minus 30 plus 8 is nothing but negative 22. So this becomes negative 22x. In the same manner, I am having minus 24y over here. Minus 2y goes on the right side, it will becomes positive. Therefore, minus 24 plus 2 will become minus 22 again. So this will be minus 22y. And the last term that you are having over here is 123. 17 if I subtract on the opposite side. Suppose if I take 123 minus 17, I have to be careful over here. This will become 1, 0 and 6. Positive of course, because 123 is positive and 17 is negative. So this is equal to 0. I can observe that all these numbers or the coefficients of the variables x, y, x square, y square as well as the constant are divisible by 2. So I will write divide throughout by 2. This will give me x square, y square, 11x, 11y. This will give you 53 and that's equal to 0. Is the required equation of locus. So let us understand the sum number 5 now. It says that a2, 4, b5, 8, you need to find the equation of the locus of the point P. Once again, I will consider that P is just x, y, such that PA square minus PB square is equal to 13. Quite similar to the previous one. In the previous question we were given the equal to sign in between. Here we have to subtract and consider the difference to be equal to 13, so that you will get a required equation of a locus.